Wow, wow. What a beautiful, beautiful day. I vividly remember my graduation ceremony, sitting in this theater almost 20 years ago. But unlike today, it was absolutely pouring, rain everywhere. And my wife and my 2-year-old son were trying desperately to stay dry out there. We had brought actually my son's favorite book, 101 Dalmatians, to keep him occupied, and it actually served that day also as a makeshift umbrella. As you can actually see, we've kept it. And while it was damaged, we had to make it up for him by getting him a real dog 11 years later. My wife actually made me swear that I would bring it back today, otherwise we might find another dog at our doorstep. Thank you, Dean Lyons, distinguished faculty, students, as well as this impressive group of people, family and friends. This is an outstanding day. Congratulations to the Haas School of 2012. I'm proud to say that I'm a Haas alum. I earned my MBA at night while working at Apple full-time during the day. And I started at Haas during January 1991, and 2 months later, my first son was born. He wasn't a good sleeper, and so neither was I. I must admit, there are parts of my time at Haas that I remember with a bit of a sleep-deprived haze. But I'm sure none of you would ever admit to being like that in your classes. What I do remember, however, was that the excitement that I felt, the new friends that I made, the learnings in school, and a conviction that this business degree would help me take farther than I could go with my engineering degree alone. And that it did, well beyond what I could have imagined on my graduation day. The Haas education and the interaction with faculty and your fellow students have prepared you really well for the path ahead. I realize today you might be expecting me some thoughtful quotes from historical figures like Kennedy or Twain, or Sun Tzu in The Art of War, or other great individuals whose quotes show up on inspirational posters with images of eagles or mountains or mountain climbers. But I know you've heard those all already. So I thought today it might be better to deconstruct my own life and share some lessons with you, from one Haas grad to another, without a lot of pomp and circumstance, but from the heart. There's one truth that I have learned many times over, and that is change is constant. Industry change, personal change, political change, technology change. Think back to 2 years ago. You were just receiving your admissions notification from Haas. Tablets were starting to gain ground. Instagram didn't exist. The Arab Spring was a dream, but within a year, multiple regimes were toppling. China unseated Japan as the world's second economy. None of us can really know what the future has in store, and that can be pretty scary as a business leader and as a human being. But there are ways in which you can embrace the change, roll with it, thrive with it, if you're willing to let go a little and pay attention. There are 3 secrets that I've learned the hard way, and in my short time today, I'd like to share those with you. Secret number 1, the answer is not in a spreadsheet. After all the time you've invested in getting your MBA, I'm here to tell you that for me, the answer is not in pivot tables, conjoint analysis, or pro forma models. It's also not in that cleverly designed 2x2 matrix. In order to deal effectively with change and uncertainty, I've had to increasingly rely on my gut as I deal with imperfect information. When trying to build a new business, you realize that every new business or market starts as a $0 billion business. No spreadsheet in the world is going to make the case for it, but that's how industries are shaped. Adobe's Photoshop is one example. Most of you probably know it. It's software that helps transform digital photographs well beyond what the photographer had initially captured, and it's a standard around the world. It's even sometimes used as a verb, much to the chagrin of our lawyers, as in I Photoshop my ex out of this picture. And it's a core of a multi-billion-dollar business. What you may not know is that early in our company's history, the case for Photoshop was not that compelling. Our founders thought we might sell a few hundred copies. But they saw that it met a need, and they wanted to offer it to their customers. And then what happened? Digital photography became reality, imagery exploded, and the rest is history. I'm not knocking analysis. Facts and data are critical to gaining insights and informing your decisions. But often the key piece of creative knowledge or insight we really need to gain, our direction, is not captured in a set of numbers. On a personal level as well, there's no guaranteed formula for a successful career. How many of you know someone who's done an exhaustive and exhausting cost-benefit analysis on personal career decisions? At some point, all you know all that is knowable, and you just have to commit to a path and let life unfold. That's certainly what I did. Early in my life in India, I did not necessarily go to the right schools. I did not necessarily get the right jobs, and I certainly did not get the right grades. I really didn't have that much of a long-term career plan beyond having an impact, having fun, and adding value to whatever I did. The unexpected will happen and you will adjust, no matter what any master plan or spreadsheet said. Which leads me to my secret number 2. Know your Zen. To me, Zen means having a total state of focus. It's easy to say, but really hard to do in the business world, unless you love what you do. I've always believed that in order for me to be successful, it's critical to understand what the company I work for stands for, the values, and what's important to me. When I was about to graduate with an MBA, the conventional wisdom was that the engineering career track was not as lucrative as product management or business development. Investment banking and management consulting was certainly attractive to a number of my classmates. But I knew that I loved to build products, to invent, and also that I was not interested in research for the sake of research. I wanted the products that I built to be used by millions of people and be commercially successful. And so the decision to continue in engineering, but with a goal to manage more responsibility for me, was a natural choice. That was my Zen. Years later, when I took over the role of CEO, John Warnock, our chairman and co-founder, said to me, "If you don't like your job, Shantanu, you have only one person to blame." And he didn't mean himself. He was right. You are more in control than you may think, and you have the power to reinvent yourself as often as you choose. As a leader, rallying your organization around a shared vision is critical. About 2 years ago, a disagreement between Adobe and Apple was making headlines. Some of you probably heard this. We at Adobe had been at a roll, and we were trying to roll people around our vision to enable everyone to create and interact with content around every type of device. Apple threw a curveball by not allowing Flash on the iPad and iPhone, and there were a lot of pretty public statements about where they found Flash lacking. A lot of drama, a lot of bad press. As I said earlier, some secrets you learn the hard way. There was a lot of scrutiny, both by the investment community as well as the press. And I can't say I enjoyed it. But you know what? You never let a good crisis go to waste. It made us focus as a team. It made us think about what our Zen really was as a company. And it's always been about helping customers create content, magazines, movies, games, websites, wherever you named it. What mattered to us was the what of the mission, not the how of the technology itself. And equally important, this resonates with our employees. It's where our employees are passionate about what they do and how they can help create every single day. This insight was incredibly energizing. We reaffirmed our alignment to the mission. We've invested in new technologies. And the end result is that we are better positioned for growth and innovation than we've ever been. Life can and will throw you curveballs. But don't let others define how you measure your success. Know your Zen and stay true to yourself. But it's not just about you. It's also about the team you build and what that team accomplishes together, which brings me to my final insight. Secret number 3, surround yourself with people smarter than you. Given how large that pool is, in my case, it's actually been an easy decision. At work, I've learned that a good team is more than finding A players to complete the boxes on an org chart. It's about knowing your strengths and weaknesses and finding people stronger and smarter to complement you. It's about finding people who, like Haas teaches, are confident without an attitude, who can be team players, who will challenge and help bring out the best in each one of you. My guess is that each one of you has learned a lot of this already through all the team projects you've done here at Haas. I certainly did. The valedictorian of our class, Arne Schaefer, always had the first semester's reading done on day one. It killed me when he told me about it on our drive up on the first day. But as a result of that, our team projects were always done weeks in advance. Surrounding yourself with smartest people may seem a little counterintuitive. You're supposed to be the smartest person in the room, right? But in life, it actually doesn't work that way. At least it hasn't for me. If you're good at something, but one of your staff is a pro at it, does that reflect badly on you? No. It actually makes you look like a genius for hiring them. And if someone you mentored eventually becomes your peer, you know that that person will always be looking out for you. By the way, this secret doesn't just hold true for your team at work. It's about your friends, your family, and the loved ones that have helped you personally as you enter this graduation day to give you joy and support at the end of the day. My wife, Rennie, my two sons, Shravan and Arjun, and our dogs have actually helped me get through my hardest changes. And I hope that each one of you will be able to find your own grounding as you take on the business world. In closing, I would like to assure you that things will continue to change faster than they've ever done before. Events will surprise you, and some things will set you back. But opportunities will be there if you seek them. I've learned to roll with it. Some may say thrive, by staying true to my Zen, by understanding that the answers are not always obvious, and by surrounding myself with a great team in all aspects of my life. As you start the next phase of your journey, I wish you all excitement, success, and fulfillment. Congratulations on your MBA, and go pursue your true calling. Go Bears!